What is up, guys? Technicals here. This is a supplemental to the video that was published this morning. It said Flux sucks. It was clickbait. And what do you expect me to do? Don't want to click it if I put an appropriate title. Anyway, I couldn't get Flux to work for 4 days, and it turns out Flux doesn't work on Windows, which is what I was running it on. So I was completely unaware of this. I'm retarded. I just put it on Windows and was like, oh, it's not working. So that's why it doesn't work. So before you run and sort of believe everything I say, it's because I'm stupid. But I've been replying to comments all morning and kind of mentioning in a few places, like it speaks to sort of a larger issue that I was wanting to talk about in terms of like these projects that come out and, and not necessarily just Flux, but a lot of projects. And it kind of comes at a time when I'm sort of considering and thinking about my channel, my direction. If you saw my best friend Hawk Crypto Mining, he actually just did a pivot on his channel to cover more broad topics and concepts. It's something that I've long considered. I considered back in the day. I've been considering a lot lately, not just staying specific to the mining niche and how I want to approach it. I got to do something to appeal to a wider audience. But within that, whatever direction that is, I have to appeal to the normal person. I mean, I shit on normies just as much as I shit on nerds, but I am a normie more than I am a crypto nerd, 100%. And I don't think anyone's coming to me for nerd speak. And if you are, what are you doing, man? But someone said, if you want Flux to run, your GPUs to work on Flux, you got to install Linux and do all these different things. I've installed Linux before. I think one command, and I think I'm good with that for the rest of my life. I have no intention of installing Linux or doing any sort of complex setup for any of these programs, and that's really because I don't have the patience for it. I don't see the benefit in it. And if you're son of a tech, and I know this is not a son of a tech reaction channel, easy, Matt. Like his position is like, you need to get out there and learn command line and Linux, stuff like that. Why? Sure, I might miss out on some opportunities because I don't know how to do that nerd shit, but I don't know that it's really worth taking all that time to learn it for what benefit? I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, you could set up and spin up nodes and do that sort of thing, but those opportunities are few and far between. I'm a normal guy, I like doing normal things, and I just like building machines that make money. And that kind of ties into the point that I was sort of getting at, is because, Flux, I understand they're in alpha. No hate on Flux whatsoever. I just bought Flux. It's fine. No hate on them, but, sort of these platforms coming in, again, not to toot the salad horn over and over again, but Salad makes it easy. Nice Hash makes it easy. Grass makes it easy. And if you want a wide selection of people to use your product, you got to make it easy. Now, this is not me playing the violin for normal everyman who's, drinking a 6-pack on the weekend and just wants to watch the game and doesn't really care about the technology and all that stuff. He just wants to turn his computer on and watch it make money. But that's who I care about, because there are way more of them than there are Linux nerds that care about spinning up nodes or doing these complex setups for different AI workload platforms. And yes, you will make more money than that normal guy because you know how to do that. But is it in the interest of the project to gatekeep it that way? If so, then that's fine. That's how you want your project to run. But, I can't help but think that because Flux is tied to a cryptocurrency, they want more people involved, more people participating. So they hold the coin, it drives the price up, it, makes the ecosystem larger. At least if I'm gaming it out and that's the tokenomics of it, or that's the game theory of it, or whatever, I got to think you got to make it a little bit easier, because most people are not going to set up Linux. Now, maybe you do like a Hive OS sort of thing where it's, sort of a very easy sort of flash onto a drive, and then you load it in the computer and it runs like that. Sure, that's easy enough. And I understand you're still in alpha. You still could do that. But for me personally, it's not something I'm really going to explore. I'm kind of keeping my own personal barriers to these things. Like if it's a super ultra complex setup, I don't expect anyone watching my channel, or really anyone in general, to like go through those steps unless the financial incentive is off the charts. And if the financial incentive is off the charts, someone else is going to get to it, and they're not going to give it out to normies. And so someone's going to swoop in, suck it all up way before it gets out to the broader audience. So I got to stay mindful of that, stay mindful of the normal guy watching this. Hey, what's up, dude? He's not going to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bother with it, and I'm not going to bother showcasing it. So Flux seems to work fine. They're still in alpha. They may in the future come out with something a little bit better. I still think Salad is a better choice, even though earnings suck. Because it's just super fucking easy. Read some of these comments here. That's a double, baby. That's a double. Whew. despite my ignorance, still a lot of people, well, I say a lot of people, relative to the age of the video, in the comments talking about how they just kind of left Flux Core because even though they had GPU support, they still were not getting jobs at all. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of work available on Flux. PhotoG918, he comments here and there. He's obviously a smart guy. I get kind of worried when he comments because he is so smart. I don't like dealing with other smart people. I mean, I'm a super smart guy, obviously, but I don't like dealing with other smart people. I need to be the smartest guy in the room. That says a lot about me, huh? The latest state of salad, they said nobody has been able to crack the consumer computation. There have been many that tried and failed. The big companies, I would think, would prefer the reliability, speeds, and quality of data centers. I'm sure it's difficult to convince potential customers to use random PCs that can go down at any moment, 100 meg speeds as well, security concerns, etc. I get the point of what you're saying. Potential customers probably want some enterprise-grade stuff, but customers that want enterprise-grade stuff, they're going to go to AWS or any of those other large data centers. I don't know why they would come to Flux or to Salad for that kind of thing. I imagine it's a lot of bespoke, weird sort of jobs that people need compute for. Or maybe it's part of a larger cluster. Maybe there are brokers on the back end that kind of, assemble these things all together for some of their larger customers. I don't know. But in my reply is I believe ultimately large companies will simply force everybody out of this space. But for now, wouldn't customers prefer having actual compute available versus just a handful of guys, nerds that are on a platform with, some 4090s? If you're coming in and you have work to be done and you need a whole lot of compute, are you going to go to someone like Salad, which has, the potential for a lot of those things to go down, but a huge amount of people available and ready to do the work for probably cheap? Or are you going to go to a platform that's got a little better reliability, people with higher end enterprise grade hardware, but there's just not enough of them? Someone's saying on the Flux Core, they had an AI benchmark of 56,000 and also getting a goose egg. Just be grateful those goose eggs aren't in Ohio. Not an immigrant joke. And again, some other people talking about how they need to make it easier. And again, I get it, they're an alpha, but I don't know what Flux's goals are. I know it's a massive ecosystem. I know this is only one component of it. And I know these people are working hard. I mean, I'm not trying to throw rocks here, but I am the ambassador. I am the emissary of the normie that only wants money and knows kinda enough to do this, but not really enough. I'm not super smart about it, and I'm unwilling to really go that much deeper. And as the emissary of that everyman, I'm not doing that shit. So anyway, that's my supplemental on the Flux thing today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, sorry that I didn't see that that I needed to run Linux in order to make this happen. So there it is, though. So it's not Flux's fault. My fault. Me dumb. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this and like the video because it's a nice thing to do. I'm TheTechnicals. See you next time.